welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline. Thanks for watching our show. The weather's been a little crazy. Smoking Jim, I don't know if he got hit by a lightning bolt, but he's running a little late. I know you've never heard that on the show, but yes, he is running late. I think he's in the building here.
Brazil always holds him up.
I know she does. It's frustrating. Hey, but thanks for watching our show again. Everybody, if you're new to this, Verizon 32, Comcast 7 in Bethel Park, YouTube, and then Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook. You know to watch that. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. We got Chip the Prophet Hayner. We got Mini Me, Little Z. So he's in the house. And then we got the original Little Z.
Little Z and Mini Z.
Yeah. Little Z is Zach Brenner from Brenner Contracting. Glad to have you on the show today. I'm glad you're not digging in the mud today. You look a lot cleaner than you did last night. So we're going to go right into what's on our mind. And you know we start with you, Little Z, since you're at the far end there. So what's on your mind?
Well, I'll tell you what, Al Levine, what's on my mind is the Pirates. We're into the All-Star. The All-Star game's actually tonight, folks, for those of you that are watching us right now.
Don't change that dial at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, don't change over to Fox, please. Don't change
go
over
early.
to Fox. But what's on my mind is hopefully that the Buccos are able to come out of the All-Star break and continue to light it up and make the playoffs. Because like Chip says, you know, that's what he wants so bad. He wants that steak dinner that I own.
No, he wants that sweet playoff ticket thing going there.
Yeah,
He's got dibs on that. But he does like a steak. He can eat, believe me. I've seen him.
It's been 20 years, so it's been a long time.
It's been a long time coming.
I know Chip's going to talk about some other streaks here later on in the program and the show, but, you know,
Little
20
tease.
years. I'm 29 years old. That's 20 years of futility, so hopefully, you know, this is the year, and that's what's on my mind, and that's what's on little Mini Me's mind.
Mini Me Z.
Yes, sir.
Mini Me Z will pass to you, and you should have that little sticker that I had. Where's Chip? It should be, where's Smoking Jim?
I see a shadow.
I see a shadow.
I see a
I
shadow.
don't know if we can bring him in, but we'll go to you, Chip. Let's get to you right now.
Let's get to me.
We'll figure out if we can get Smoking Jim in here, if he can sneak in. Maybe when they put the camera on me, he can sneak in. But go ahead, Chip. What's on your mind,
What's on
buddy?
my mind? You know, we got the baseball All-Star game. You know, Pittsburgh's in a baseball fever right now. But what's on my mind is the idiot that runs Major League Baseball, the commissioner of baseball, Bud Selig. You know, Bud Selig gets on the podium yesterday and sticks both his feet in his mouth, and he decides to tell everybody that baseball's cleaner now than it's ever been. Well, you know, he's making this statement while they're on the verge of suspending at least 20 players for multiple games over this PED investigation involving biogenesis, okay? So, you know, we've got this going on, and, you know, the Players Union, and this is not a bash on unions just in general, but the Players Union and their efforts to enable the players to be able to continue to cheat is going to fight these suspensions. So the suspensions aren't even going to happen this year. So the cheaters that have been helping their teams are going to continue to cheat this year without any repercussions because they've got the Players Union to back them up.
Right.
So, you know, and I think what we really need to do if you want to clean up baseball like everybody says they want to, is they really need to come down with strict restrictions on these players when they do get caught. They ought to ban people from the game. They ought to they ought to actually even punish the teams and put more of an onus on the teams to police their players instead of reaping the benefits of the cheaters and you know, and the profits that go with it. But you know, the fact that he could sit there and say on national TV that he feels that baseball's cleaner now than it's ever been was a bunch of
Chip, you'll
BS.
be surprised on our revisit segment because when I start.
But that's what's on my mind. I could go on for a half hour on this.
Hold it, there is an eclipse.
I could go on about this for about a half an hour, but I'll cut it short.
All right, because we're going to revisit that.
The birthday boy.
Smoking Jim just come in. He's fashionably late. He's our man in blue today. Oh, man, look at that hat. It's plaid. As soon as he gets mic'd up, folks, we'll have him.
That's his all-star colored hat. You know.
Well, maybe I should do the promo so he gets prepared. We got our promo here. We got the North American Unicycling Convention and Competition starting this week, the 21st to the 27th. Devin and I are going to head up there on Wednesday for the evening events. We're going to get some races, some interviews, and everything else. So check that out. That'll be up in Seneca Valley, Butler, and we'll be up there. And then we got our Sunday, July 28th, South Park Fair. Easy, guys, easy. The best car cruise event of the season. This is the help the Bethel Park Junior Football Program. I'm going to be in touch with Jim Gasteb and see if we can get some great interviews there. We'll see a lot of people there. Smoking Jim and I are supposed to do some interviews that day, so we'll get them all in early with Smoking Jim. So
On time.
well, I'm sarcastic for anybody that doesn't know. And I got another thing. Whoa, this just come in. Steel Valley Midget Football Association.
All right.
We got something there. We got Joe Nathalie in the control room. Devin Shea, his bike broke down. So this caused a whole cascade of problems here with the rain and everything else. But here with the Steel Valley Midget Football Association, the key date is practice begins on the 24th. And we're going to have sign-ins, and they're going to have mandatory weigh-in by August 10th. So they want you to register and be there. And
Hey,
we
can you
also
pass
have-
that down there? I want to show Smoking Jim something.
Go ahead.
We got Steel Valley. Uh-oh.
Everybody's playing for the backup. Gateway will win that championship.
Gateway's in there. Hey, guess what, folks? We got Smoking Jim Frazier just traveled in from so far away. It took him an extra time to get here. What's on your mind, Smoking Jim?
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you got to see Levine. Traffic was crazy out there, but my spotlight player.
Was it raining or anything, or
you
storming?
know what? I guess it was raining, storming.
Okay.
I guess.
Because that's a first here in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Pestilence, a plague of locusts, the whole nine.
It was raining women.
But my spotlight player of the week goes to the second round of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Levon Bell, big time running back out of Michigan State, 6'1", 245 pounds, runs the 40 and 4.5. Only 20 years old, so his upside is huge. Led the nation in rushing last year with 1,793 yards. Outstanding. Came out after his junior year. Unfortunately, he does 24 reps at 225 on the bench. I don't care what his academics are. But
Stay in school for all you kids watching.
Yes.
You boxers and everybody else here, stay in school.
Please.
Stay at school, hold on to
Please.
the ball.
Please.
if you get a C, you can play for me. But hey, I think though my prediction is this year that Isaac Rittman's going to have a breakout season. Look for Isaac Rittman to do some things special. I'm not saying he's going to make the Pro Bowl, but he'll be on very close to making a Pro Bowl. And then you got Jonathan Dwyer that'll give you two pretty good plays at a time before he gets a little.
Hold it, I got to interrupt you.
So Bell,
Were you
so
in
Bell
an
may be-
accident?
so Bell
Did you
may
hit
be
your
third.
head?
So Bell may be third.
Hold it. Did you hit your head, brother? Because you weren't happy with these guys last year.
Well, you know.
What happened?
I've always been a fan of Isaac Rittman
Right.
and Jonathan Dwyer. The only problem is Jonathan Dwyer is always out of shape. He has stamina problems, but in terms of talent, his talent is undeniable.
See, I remember the tap out stuff you were saying,
yeah.
using the
Yeah.
the wrestling
I gotta
terms.
tell it like it
Okay.
Is Woodley in
Tell it like
shape?
it is.
Oh, that'll be in our Steelers
Never.
segment, Little Z. We'll
Oh, there's a
cover-
Steelers segment.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, tune in.
Tune in later on the
Find out
show.
next Friday.
We'll have Steelers here. Yeah. It'll be coming up. Let me get that pen out. And then that's what's on your mind. Thank you. And it's nice to hear the running backs. We don't have to worry because I still predict 11-5. That easy schedule. We'll discuss that later. I'm teasing you, Little Z.
Steeler record. Way to go, the talking machine. Way to go.
Sometimes
Check.
I'm intuitive. I'm intuitive on some things.
I thought we were going to revisit that.
Not yet. Not yet. That's not the. This guy is auditioning, folks. We had one person like what he did on the show last week on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook, so he may need a couple votes on this audition here. So we'll see what happens. But what's on my mind is who won the All-Star game, because I forgot to watch it. And the home run derby, I know who won it, but it really doesn't mean that much in an All-Star game to me. And I know it's controversial for you guys, but I did watch Alvarez get 6 home runs. So my prediction of 5 or over, I feel confident in that. And for all the people that enjoy the All-Star games and all the sports, I'm happy that you do, because we like discussing that stuff. But I forgot to watch it. We were at a bar and had such a great time at Sips. I didn't watch it. That's what's on my mind. Let's get the revisitation going here right now.
The All-Star game's tonight.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
You watched the home run contest.
I know. I didn't watch the end of it. I know.
Okay.
That's part of the... I wanted somebody to tell me that during the revisitation. Thanks, Chip. Just like I got that secret information out of
you.
you.
You did. You pulled a fast one on me, Al. Better watch out for that, Al.
Two of them right now, and one was not intentional like that one, folks. And I just...
set me up.
Yeah, the first one...
It's that purple.
That's what it is. We got the bright purple. All right, the revisitation, I wanted to take the lead on that because everybody knows that I'm basically pro-union with conditions. Now, the conditions are terrible. How can you have a drug testing system, illegal drugs, and hardly any penalties, and you have these guys putting illegal substances that are performance, they're PEDs as they call them, and now all of a sudden, yeah, PEDs. Yeah, not IEDs. This isn't the war.
I think Smoking Jim might have thought you said Pez, like a Pez dispenser. They're putting Pez.
He got a sweet tooth. He took care of that sweet tooth yesterday with 6 cupcakes for a pre-birthday thing from Bethel Bakery. But
they're that good.
Getting back to the PEDs, to me it's outrageous that these guys aren't suspended before the All-Star break. They've been researching this for months. I'm even a little more radical than Chip with what they should do. Selig should just be thrown out of office to make comments like he did on Letterman. That was so, he's not a comedian.
It's unprofessional.
Yeah,
It's
and he shouldn't be a
unprofessional.
leader of any organization at this point in time. He should go back to owning the Brewers or whatever he wants to do there. They need more help.
Well,
so.
you know, and this is not a union bashing statement.
No,
So
no,
just
no.
let me get this out there.
Hold it, I just said I'm against that.
But you know, here's the thing that I don't understand. The union is supposed to be concerned with the health and the well-being of the players, okay? And then
I'll
the
explain it.
performance-enhancing drugs are a detriment to their health and their well-being, and yet they will continue to defend these guys' rights to cheat instead of allowing them to be punished the way they should be, so that you could get it out of the game, which kind of like makes me.
Let me explain
But
it. to
money.
you. Here's
Money.
what happened.
Money.
Little Z hit the nail on the head, like I said during negotiations. It's all about the money. If you can control the top players like they want to, and the rest don't make any money, they're happy. So now that all these superstars are ingesting who knows what, that's what's happening. It's all about the game, keeping it lively, keeping
One
the
of
home
Smoking
runs.
Jim's favorite players, Ray Lewis, put a little bit of deer antler on his arm.
No, he was wearing the underwear. He had deer antler underwear that he wore for a while, and that helped his whole body heal up. And he had the bionic arm that I talked about on numerous shows. And you even heard a couple times how that enhanced his tackling ability because guys are running into it like it was the longest yard. You know, so we have a lot of things going on there.
So, you know,
But back to Chip's point and things with Bud Selig, it's about the money. It's atrocious that that's the deal that they have, and they're going to delay this to 2014.
But you know, and then you know, the thing that gets me is that there are teams that are benefiting from people that are listed to be suspended. One of them, for example, pitcher for the Oakland A's, Bartolo Colon, that fat slob. He's 40-some years old. He's throwing the ball faster as he gets older than he did when he was younger, and he's 12-3. Okay, the Oakland A's are benefiting from that, and if the guy's cheating, you need to get him out of the game. And, you know, they shouldn't be able to reap the benefits because, you know, here ultimately they may end up winning the West Division or making a playoff spot and everything that goes with that.
Chip, I know you're surprised, but I'm 100% on your bandwagon with
It doesn't
baseball.
make you question, though, who does it. And since so many people do it and it's so rampant, doesn't it make you think maybe everybody does it?
Well, no, here's what the thing is.
think
You've got,
there's very few
you've
that
got a
don't.
kid in Baltimore right now. It's hit 37 home runs at the All-Star break, and he's never been tainted with anything, but it makes you question,
Yet.
what is he on? Okay, because, you know, and who knows? Maybe he's just legitimately
Young
an
and
eagle
strong.
eye, young and strong, and a great ball player who's on an amazing streak. But anybody that starts doing well, even Francisco Liriano pitching for the Pirates, he's doing amazingly well after having an injury, and it makes you scratch your head. What has he got going
Deer
on? Because
antler underwear.
But
in Baltimore.
but
the
that's
testing is
that's-
messed up though. If the testing is messed up though right now, then why don't the
Don't
Pirates
get
take
Chip
advantage
started
of
on
it?
the testing.
No.
How the guy brought the bottle home that Braun peed in, and how it got contaminated. You're going to get him going
No,
about that.
because the sample wasn't contaminated. The only thing that was messed up was the chain of custody. That was Ryan Braun's sample, and it did test positive. They just screwed up the chain of custody, is what they did. And so I mean, you can't say that he did not test
I
positive.
thought they had some of the harshest penalties though. Like for a 162 game season, you might get suspended for 50 games the first time.
Well, it could
the
be up to
second time's
100.
100 games.
Third time
and then
is
the third time
banishment.
is banishment.
That's maybe
Wouldn't
what-
Bartolo Colon be on the verge of banishment then?
No, he would.
What
He
about-
would be 100 games at this point because he got 50.
What
for
about
last year.
Ramirez, who's in the Texas
Manny
farm
Ramirez,
system right now?
he still has to. I believe if he signs on a major league roster, I believe he's going to serve a 100-game suspension
Yes.
because he's already done a 50.
Yeah, he's next up.
So if somebody signs him, they were to sign him now, they couldn't use him until next year.
But what kind of precedent does that send to the world though, that you could still be a juicer and still get to play in the league?
That's my whole point, Zach. That's my whole point. To
The
say that
integrity
you've
of
got
the
a-
game is at stake.
It is,
Exactly.
and to say that you've got the sport is one of the cleanest out there, or it's cleaner now than it's ever been. That's really a laughable statement, and it only shows your incompetence. It doesn't really.
Well, right now
it's
the
not something you
cleanest
should pat
sport,
yourself on the back
the
about.
cleanest sport in America right now is the unicycle riding. That's
Far
the
as we
cleanest
know.
sport, as far as we know. Dave
Definitely.
Crack is all natural, like me.
That's what Trina
Definitely,
keeps
and
on
we'll
telling
see.
us.
We'll see them on the 25th. We're going to try to head out next Wednesday, or the 26th. I'm
But
sorry.
hey, on those revisiting,
Yes.
Smoking Jim, talking about the Steelers running backs this year, and this is another one of those big questions. I mentioned this last night. Steelers go into this season with a lot of questions. Do you think that in the second year of Todd Haley's offense, he'll learn how to use his running backs, unlike he did last year?
No.
Oh, good. That
I mean,
ended
what
that.
could you really do though? I mean, you can only do so much. You could be Vince Lombardi. You can only do so much. Like the
Please
players
don't
need to
confuse
step.
Haley with Vince Lombardi.
Well,
No, I'm just talking
No
about on a
comparison.
talent
He
level.
should stick with, one back, or do you think every other play he needs to be rolling him in and out so nobody can get into a groove or whatever? And
Conditioning.
Well, I think they're going to roll him in and out. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that Isaac Redman is going to take the lead because Ben Roethlisberger's wife, Isaac Redman, is her favorite player, so he's going to have to start because of that.
And Chris Rainey is with the rest of the Florida Gators.
And,
And
Oh,
of course,
man, we're hitting other sub. We'll go
Of course,
out
the
there.
wire. They know the system, and I don't think Bell will be able to get that many opportunities this year as a rookie, a 20-year-old rookie, but his future is very bright.
Well, we got 4 preseason games in a training camp, so a lot can happen between now and then. And you never know. Hopefully, this kid does step up because we need him. We need a running
and
game.
hopefully they don't ruin somebody in the 4th game of the preseason like they did Spence.
Ooh, what a great linebacker!
And that kid, I don't
Oh, he's
know,
coming back.
is he ever going to play again? I mean,
never.
that injury was horrific.
Yeah, he'll never play again.
Really?
And
That's
that's
the
our
word.
revisitation,
That's the word I got at
folks.
the draft.
Now we go to a couple segments that we have. Sip Sports Bar. We had a great show last night. We had great guests. We had John Galeza, our fantasy baseball guys.
Nice pink shirt he had on.
Yeah,
I was gonna wear pink tonight too.
You said you were. And he always add some nice color to the show there. He was suited up. He didn't change up into his outfit that Smoking Jim likes. He didn't get his gang member hat and shirt. And
Did he
everything.
run his fingers through your hair? Or no?
He tried. He tried.
They stopped dead.
He tried, buddy. A lot of my fans are upset about
Nothing's
that.
going through that, brother. The wind don't.
This is au naturel. You can try it. There's nothing
Lil Z
sprayed
said
in
they
there.
ain't cut off enough.
Yeah, Marianne and Izazu got the best job in the city, man.
Go to
She
Pittsburgh.
just hits it with a flow beat, man, a little bit over the top, man.
No, I'm there about 40 minutes in the chair while she's cutting.
She's
There's
just
hair
talking to you.
everywhere.
You're the talking machine.
No,
You're
you
just talking.
you just ask the guy that has to wipe all that hair up. There's a lot of gray and white hair anymore. I said, cut out the white hair. She goes, Al, you'd be bald like John Galeza. So I can't do that. But anyhow, we did have a great show. And then we only had 2 guests plus our regular guest that shows up, Little Z, who kept his streak alive. He was digging so deep in mud and water that he come in, you couldn't tell he had a fresh shirt on, but that was about it. He was right, buddy. Believe me, it smells like he fell into a septic tank or something. But I don't know. We'll confirm that later. But we had Frank Murgy, who was on there. He's a ring announcer. He knows sports. He promotes, fundraising with cystic fibrosis. He also did a video that I don't know if you guys saw it, like a 32-second video of all of us on the show. He pieced that thing together, and he wants to help us out. He joined the Pittsburgh Sportsline team. He even got a nomination for the Hall of Fame.
And he was inducted into the SIP Sports Hall of Fame. Our
I'm
our
starting
second
to question
inductee.
that Hall of Fame, the legitimacy of that Hall of Fame.
Here's what
this
I
very
want.
night, on this very day, I question the legitimacy.
Jeez.
I say.
I can't get
say,
through
I say.
segments. There's too much controversy on this show. Well, anyhow, let me get to the promo. Every Monday night, Pittsburgh Sportsline, 7:30-ish. There's a question on when we actually start filming. We've never filmed at 7:30. So if you are a guest or you want to stop in, like Michelle and Phil and everybody else that stops in, we got a lot of locals that come by. It's 7:30-ish. So you can eat. Frank Murgy ended up eating before the show. He had time. John
Yeah, after
Galeza
the
had
show.
time. Yeah, we had one thing we do is we eat on the shows.
Basically, we ate.
And then, well, we did talk sports. You can check it out. The video's not up yet with all the storms and everything else that didn't get put up today yet. So I'm sure it'll be up shortly. So anybody asking or wondering, it will get up there. Pizza tonight, 50 cents a slice, Campiti's Pizza. Chip and I are big fans of Don
What? We
Campiti's
can never
Pizza.
get that pizza on Monday?
You got to go up the
anytime.
street. You can
It's
go
around
up the
the corner.
street.
Can
up
I
the
call? Can I call Don?
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
And have him deliver it down the Sips on Monday night?
I got the number in
You
my
c-
phone.
yeah, you could
I
walk.
mean, I would actually like to have some Campitis, and I might never
Okay.
get it
Yeah, I
on
got
Tuesday
that- I
night
got
being
that-
here.
And they actually put it in a brown
I
bag
got
to
the number
go.
on speed dial.
You have to check.
Well, Chip will eat some with
Hey,
me.
Don watches the show. Maybe he can set that up for us. Hey, Don, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
We love your pizza, Bob.
Wednesday is Smokin' Jim's dollar drinks for all the ladies. That's their special. Thursday night is the wings. Smokin' Jim and I cover a double shift there. He's usually early, believe it or not. I cover the late half of it. And then we have Friday, they have entertainment. Johnny Sarkis is karaoke. Saturday night, they always have some entertainment there. And they have bar trivia. And there's drink specials. There's they have a 4 o'clock happy hour. There's free parking around at meters. Watch which side of the road you're on.
So all
It's
the fun
free.
happens every other night of the week but Monday, it seems.
Well, we're
At
gonna.
6. Why can't we do some of those things on Monday night?
How about 25-cent wings?
Talk to Tina.
25-cent wings.
We would go crazy on this show, Little Z.
Campini's Pizza, but, some, a
Oh
little
man!
bit, a little
You
bit
know
of
what?
disco.
Your audition. You're starting to move up on the charts again. You dropped back a little bit with running over segments and everything, but we'll see what happens, folks. We're on a tight chain. Hey, and that's Sip Sports Bar, 3024 West Liberty Avenue, downtown Dormont, 15216. Thanks again for letting us be there. We had a great time. And check out the video by Frank. I posted that on Pittsburgh Sportsline. If you're drinking each time I say Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook, have a nice night. And now we go to one of my favorite sections and segments here, Little Z. It's called Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Hey, thanks, L. Levine, the talking machine. And I tell you what, this edition of Fiction and Facts with Smokin' Jim's Almanac goes all the way back to last night. I had a great time.
Last night.
I still got my Batman. And I tell you what, I was totally caught off guard last night. My good friend Alan Levine, the talking machine, set up a little surprise party for me at Sip Sports Bar, and they had the best boxing announcer on the planet, my man Frank Mergia.
Whatever he says.
Yeah,
He's a great
I'm
guy.
Close. And I tell you what, 8-time world champion Roy Jones Jr. considers him the best ring announcer around, and he was able to announce, the coming of my cupcakes and
From Bethel Bakery.
From Bethel Bakery.
Served by Brandy.
And the beautiful Brandy brought it. And
Celebrating Jim's 29th birthday.
my 29th birthday. And I tell you what, I was able to get my favorite cupcake.
What is it?
Vanilla with white icing, brother. And I tore it
I
up.
thought he was going to say brandy.
Hey, it's a
tore it up,
family
so-
show here,
So
folks.
that made my day. I tell you what, I enjoyed it. I enjoy Sips. They make you feel at home. And I enjoy all my great best friends right here, man. Couldn't have
You're welcome,
couldn't have
buddy.
shared today with anybody more special.
Just the look on your face. Watch the video, folks. It was awesome. I thought he was going to eat all 12 cupcakes. I was getting nervous, so I grabbed mine, and luckily I distracted him. He got a couple Batman rings, and he had a Batman in his special cupcake.
Well, you know I wasn't going to eat all 12 because I don't like chocolate.
I know.
Well, to speak on
I
that,
know.
it's,
Thanks, buddy.
I'll give you
I
a
had
true
your back, bro.
I'll give you a true fact, and this is a true fact in
All
Western
right.
Pennsylvania right now. You have Frank on the microphone. You had Smoking Jim Frazier on the microphone, and you also had this guy sitting right here on the microphone. So now I'm in elite and rare company. Still not in the Hall of Fame like Pete Rose, but as long as-
We're not saying you're banned.
Unlike Pete Rose, you have the chance to be there.
Yeah, you're not banned for life.
You're not banned.
Well, he's
for
not
life.
eligible. He's part of the team. He's part of the team here. We can't go in the
Yeah, you
Hall
have
of
to be
Fame.
retired for 5 years.
He's
Yeah,
auditioning
yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah,
seat.
for the
Now
guest.
you're starting to put
You
a
ain't no
negative.
guest. You ain't no guest,
Hold
brother.
it. You're putting a negative. Wait, you know what? I got a technicality. Let me write that. If he doesn't have a seat, he can compete for the HOF.
for the HST.
All right.
That's how I'm fit for you.
Well, now we got to go. We're not going to revisit that stuff, but we'll just put it in between all these things. Now we go to my second and one of my most favorite parts is Chip's trivia time, and I have to give a little segue into this. We had a cancellation. Devin Shea, his bike was stranded, and he couldn't make it in. So Chip believes in conspiracies, and I called Smoking Jim up. Of course, I didn't get an answer because he don't answer his phone. And I couldn't text him because I'm driving. But Dave Cable, who puts his show
Dumb
together,
phone. They have phones now that you can talk out loud and it records it and types your message. Now. Technology is advanced.
Houston, we have a problem with our guest on the end. His audition is not going well. Okay. So Chip, when I called him back and said, yes, we're going to have a show, he's like, you got all the information out of me. Well, I didn't get all of it, but here's what it is. I couldn't have set it up any better. He has some great trivia that's going to knock your socks off. I don't even remember what it's about. Go ahead, Chip.
Smoking Jim went into the Wayback Machine, and he went all the way back to last night. Well, I'm going to go back a few years earlier than that. I'm going all the way back to the summer of 1941. Wow. Okay, the summer of 1941, one of the greatest
Before my time.
streaks in modern sports history happened. That was the year of Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. And the reason I bring that up for you this evening because on July the 16th, 1941 was the last game in the 56th game in a row that Joe DiMaggio got a hit in. The streak was ended on July 17th of 1941, so I wanted to recognize his accomplishment. I believe this is a record that will never be broken. But just some interesting and odd facts about the 1941 baseball season. Joe DiMaggio's streak and the events
I can't
of that
wait
day.
to hear this.
Joe DiMaggio's
Again.
streak began on May 15th, 1941, very inauspiciously. He was 1 for 4 against the Chicago White Sox and a pitcher named Eddie Smith. From that day forward, 56 games, he continued to hit consecutively. During the 1941 season, he helped to jumpstart the Yankees and actually propelled them into the World Series where the Yankees won the championship. All of this despite of what was going on in Boston. A certain young gentleman they called the Splendid Splinter, Ted Williams, happened to do something that year in baseball that has not been done since. He batted .400 for the season. Okay,
Wow.
He finished the season with a .408 or .406 batting average for the entire season. And the reason I bring that up because I'm looking at the statistics of Joe's streak, and that 56-game hitting streak that he had. During the streak, Joe DiMaggio had a batting average of .408, a slugging average of .717. He faced 4 future Hall of Fame pitchers. He played in the 1941 All-Star Game, in which he went 1 for 4, but that does not count as one of the games in the streak. And also, he had to deal with the death of a Yankee great, Lou Gehrig. Okay, so all of these things, and still he was able to create a record that I believe will never be touched. And how did it come to an end? On July 17th, 1941, pitchers Al Smith and Jim Bagby of the Cleveland Indians held him hitless. 2 hard shots came close to becoming hits, but great defensive stops by the third baseman robbed him of continuing the streak. But, you know, and you think about that, you know, Ted Williams batted .400 for the year, you know, which, you know, Joe DiMaggio came in second in a batting title. Joe DiMaggio won the American League MVP that year over Ted Williams. And that's how amazing his record was and how amazing of a ball player he was. So just a little shout out to Jolt and Joe. You haven't been forgotten, and your record will stand forever.
Well, didn't he go on another streak after that?
We're going to research that.
Well, we'll research that, and I don't like to give out inaccurate information.
Let me ask you this. Maybe you guys can help me out on this. This was 1941, correct?
Correct.
As far as I recall.
Well, what year was it that he was putting hickeys on Marilyn Monroe?
Well, that was in the 50s. That was in the 50s because he went into the Hall of Fame in 1955. So that means he retired. He retired probably in 1950. So that's when he was getting old.
Wow.
I tell you what, when guys as passionate as Chip Hainer leave this planet of ours, this great planet of ours, facts like that are just going to go by the wayside because my generation pays completely no respect.
That's
so
true.
Everything, my generation doesn't, everything before certainly doesn't, and everything after, you know, doesn't pay any attention to some of these greats.
When I go, I'm going to give you some of the books. I have a book on Joe DiMaggio, and we'll tell you some of his secrets because we can't put a lot of those on the air. Wow. Smoking Jim, you were telling a story last night about your buddy Chris in a house.
Yeah.
Well, Joe DiMaggio was quite the ladies' man in every city that he went to. Every city.
I might have to read that book.
Well, I'll just highlight a couple of the pages.
All right, that's good.
Because you have a couple degrees from Cal U, and that's what you used, or somebody used to do that for you. So I'll highlight that for you in Joe DiMaggio's book. But Z, when I leave, I'll dedicate my books there, and I know they'll collect us, and you'll give them that. But the information's there for you. Or like I tell all you young guys, Google it, and then they keep telling me Bing it.
I want some of those baseball
What's a
cards,
Bing?
There it is.
You gotta Bing it.
For every game in the streak.
You come prepared, bro.
Yes,
And
I
you
do.
could give
I
that
do.
the
He's the
little
father
Z.
of baseball knowledge there, folks.
Yeah, I'm
Like I
telling you
said,
what,
when guys like him stop going to games, man, the games are
I
gonna
thought
be
you
in
guys
trouble.
was taking a shot at me.
No,
Because what day did the hitting streak end?
your
July
birthday.
17th.
But you know what? You weren't even thought of. You weren't even a twinkle in your dad's eye.
Oh, believe me, I was thought of. My daddy's a player.
How many brothers and sisters?
It took him a while to achieve perfection. Huh?
4 that we know of.
4 brothers. 4 brothers and sisters. All right. Hey, folks, we'll go to that family
Shout out
affair.
to Mr. Fraser.
We got to have him on the show. Bring him to Sip Sports Bar,
Everybody
please.
should come out to Sip Sports.
I'd like to talk to him. Anybody, come on out. Now we got a special little segment. I mentioned Steelers. Oh, wait, it just appeared here.
Boxing.
No, I move Steelers ahead of that. See, that's why I do segments.
Hey.
Guys are chomping at the bit. I put it on
Folks
the.
at home think this stuff is rehearsed, man. It's not
It is.
rehearsed.
Look, there's Batman. He's Batman. But anyhow, if you went on the Facebook page, you know, training camp starts on the 27th. Check the Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook. We give out all kind of information. Little Z, I know Steelers are on your mind. You couldn't hold yourself back. What's that ring?
That's nice.
I bought this ring after we won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay because that was a hard-fought game. Larry Fitzgerald and Kurt Warner tried to single-handedly steal that game from us because of our weak secondary, which we've never really improved in the last 4 or 5 years since in the draft or in free agency. Not that the Steelers are known to make a splash in free agency ever in my lifetime. Maybe
It might
next.
happen.
I don't think.
And that's the only how somebody from Steel Valley will get a ring to buy one. It's nice. Dollar well worth.
What do you mean we don't make a splash in free agency? Willie Gay is back in the fold.
That's a splash, but not in the
the
right
rabbit?
place. That's a splash in the
the
wrong
rabbit?
place. Where were you digging yesterday? It might have been a splash in
I was
there.
digging into Wickley.
No, I didn't ask what area, but what were you digging up?
We were digging up a septic
That's
tank.
the splash we're talking about.
Yeah, there was a
The
splash.
wrong splash.
Yes, sir.
What you're thinking on Steelers then?
I'm thinking 10-6. I don't think they're going
10-6.
to be as good as you think they're going to be, but I think they're
man.
going to be a little bit better than Smoke and Jim thinks they're going to be.
Well, I
Hopefully
don't
that
think
running
he's.
back can make an impact. I'm a firm believer a first round, second round draft pick should be, pretty much ready to go.
Good point.
If you're going to
Except on defense, they can't. Even Troy and a lot of other great players can't start right away on that Dick LeBeau defense. You know that.
Well, I don't think they're really going to have much of a choice this year because they're real thin, and Jason Worlds. I'm still not convinced that he's the next coming. I haven't seen it in him yet.
Me
And
neither.
Lawrence Timmons runs himself out of as many plays as he runs himself into. He's quick.
He's fast, though.
He's fast. He overruns the plays and ultimately gives up big plays. And Lamar Woodley, I pray that he comes into
That's
camp
what we're
healthy.
trying to get to. Is he in shape?
He's shopping.
We need him to play 16 games this year. I mean, playing a third of a season just isn't going
I'll
to cut
take
it.
under. I'll take under 16. I took over on Pedro. I'll take on Lamar. I'll take under 16. 11 and
That's what
5.
we call sucker bet.
But this year going into the Steelers season, going into the
It's a gimmick bet.
into training camp. I mean, this is the one year I'm really kind of excited to see what, how good are the coaches of the Steelers? How well have they evaluated the talent they have put on the team? What can they do to motivate these people? I've really got no expectations this year at all for the Steelers. I'd actually, to be honest with you, I'd be surprised to see them go 8-8. I mean, there's a lot of question marks. And
You're drinking
Do
smoking
you
Jim's
think-
Kool-Aid.
Do you think that Mike Tomlin was drafted strictly because of the Rooney Rule? Because it seems to me like there hasn't been a lot of head coaches in the league that have come from any
Well,
kind of descent.
Mike Tomlin was hired only because of the Rooney Rule. Don't forget that the acting owner, Art Rooney II, called a press conference to announce Russ Grimm was going to be the coach, and Russ Grimm came in with his suit.
And this is our man on the inside. And that's a big suit Russ Grimm wears.
Yeah, that's a
Big suit.
And so they stopped the press conference because Dan Rooney knew that they had to at least entertain the thought of bringing in a black coach, being that they were taking a lot of heat because of the Rooney Rule. They did not anticipate that Bill Cowher, who was in the prime and had some of the best teams, he put together some of the best teams he ever had, would step down and retire. But a true man, Bill Cowher, was devoted to his wife who was dying of cancer. So he stepped away from the game.
And, you got to tip your hat to Bill
I
Cowher
love
for
Bill
sticking
Cowher.
with her to the end. You think of all the people that have abandoned their significant others when they're terminally ill, and you got to tip your hat to them. But Mike Tomlin has proven to be a good coach.
I don't think so.
I
don't think so.
No, Jim, I know you don't like it, but you know what? He has kept that team winning, and I hear all the time that he's winning with Cowher's players, but Cowher hasn't had anything to do with that team since 2006. You brought a lot of the talent in, but you know what? We're really going to see what kind of a coach Mike Tomlin is this year, because I think either this will be his
I think he wanders
benchmark
around.
year, or this will be the beginning to the end for him.
Well, let me say this. You're correct that Bill Cowher has not been around since 2006. I'll give you that. But what has been around is all of his coaches. Mike Tomlin is the only guy in the history of the National Football League that came from another organization, and they kept all the coaches and all the players, and it wasn't his system. You know, he came from the Tampa 2 system. So Bruce Arians, the genius, ran the offense. Dick LeBeau ran the defense, and Mike Tomlin kind of handled the quotes.
Yeah, he
And
does
he's
a
doing
lot
pretty
of
good
talking.
at that.
He's
And
a
he
great
does
press
that. He's
conference.
I love it.
He's
I
a
don't miss
smooth
those.
operator.
But
I
you
don't
know
miss
what? We're going to
those.
find out how much of a genius Bruce Arians is this fall.
We
Okay?
kind of found out last year because
Well,
because nobody
Andrew
like you
Luck.
talking about. There's a better chance that Joe DiMaggio's record will be broken before anybody is named assistant coach of the year and head coach of the year in the same year. My man Bruce, I'm with you in
Wow,
Arizona.
he come
baby.
out with
You know,
a
when you're
bolo punch.
when you're coaching
Bolo.
the number 1 pick in the draft, Andrew Luck, it sort of makes it a little easier. I don't think he's going to a quarterback of that caliber out.
Well, he got Carson Palmer.
Oh,
Carson
yeah.
Palmer.
He carried the Raiders to how many championships?
About as
He
many
got,
as
he
Terrell
got
Pryor
Bruce
does.
now.
It's
He
the
got
coach.
Bruce now.
How many championships did he bring to Cincinnati?
And
Well, let
that's
me
why
say,
I like sports,
when
the
Bruce-
opinions.
When Bruce Arians faked the illness prior to the Baltimore game,
Yeah.
what did Andrew Luck do? They'd have beat Baltimore with him. Bruce Arians
Wow.
did a couple
And
of...
this, folks, this is a guy that told me to bet the house on that game. I'm not saying which way, because he called it. This guy called it, folks.
Thank
Smoking
goodness
Jim
Allen bet
called,
the
I
outhouse,
remember.
not the real house.
But he did call that game. He did say that. And he's the one that said Luck is out of luck. So,
Oh, come on, that was a hard pick.
what?
The Ravens and the Colts.
Without
picked
Bruce,
it.
without Bruce
He picked
Arians,
it.
they wasn't going to win.
No,
Obviously,
beat
they
him
weren't going to
No,
win.
Ray
They weren't
reached
gonna-
out.
It was a bet the house. Let's cinch pipe.
Ray reached out and rubbed
That was the
rubbed
year
Jim's
of
chest,
Ray
and he
Ray.
told him. He said he told him,
Bionic
"You're going to
arm.
run this
It was.
one back."
It was the year of Ray Lewis.
Well, it was his last year, and he was wearing that
He was
deer
touched.
antler underwear every game. It kept him healthy.
Ray was touched last
But
year.
one good thing we can say about Lil Z, the last guy on the last team that beat the Ravens was Charlie Batch.
Isn't that the truth?
Or should I say, unemployed Charlie Batch, but, you know.
Hey,
Wow.
Charlie's got enough
Hey,
going on. You know.
yeah.
He's not gonna be selling apples on the
Hey,
street
Chuck,
corner.
man, he keeps giving me footage, man. We got to get you,
Sip Sports Bar.
yes.
You know what I've said on the record here, and I think he's too busy. Can't make it. He's a good man. He did make it to Bethel Park for the charity, the Pals basketball game.
He was putting them up, too.
He was throwing threes around like they were candy.
Yeah.
And he could shoot the basketball. He could play. He went
Raining
coast to
trees.
coast. He went coast to coast. He's still a heck of an athlete. I don't care what you say, Smoking Jim,
Yeah.
wherever he's from. And you even gave a couple shout-outs with how good he looked on the court.
Oh, yes.
And you can check the video there. And I forget who interviewed him. We were supposed to go interview him.
That was
but
the last. Man, that woman's
Yeah,
been
I mean, right after
Gilligan's Island.
Charlie Batch was cut by the Steelers, the Ponce twins was wearing hats. Bring Charlie Batch back.
I don't think so. They don't know who he is.
You know, speaking of the Pouncey boys, you know, it's a good. You know, they should have stayed in college and got their degree because the boys don't have the.
Hold on, what
sense
school did
were
they go
born with.
to? What school did they go to?
Oh, they're Florida Gators.
They're all Gators for life.
Chris
They don't-
Rainey, Aaron Hernandez, the Pound.
And luckily, we live in a
Hey,
free
you know
country.
who happens to be the most holiest Florida Gator? Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow, my man. My
But
man.
he's not wearing a free
Yeah.
Hernandez hat.
Hey,
He has sense.
I'm just
people are
saying.
distancing themselves from him. They don't want any of that stink to get on.
Well, I
him.
heard he called Zimmerman's attorneys down there in Florida.
He was too late. He's too late. He already got his attorney. That's
cold.
Too soon? Too soon?
I can't believe you said that.
We're covering it all, folks. We'll have
Hey,
our,
when that white Bronco was
cold.
speeding down halfway back in the day,
how old were you back
nobody
then?
was, you know, I don't remember any glass getting broken or anything happening when OJ went on a rampage.
Hold it. OJ said he knows who the killer is and he'll find the killer.
OJ also said he knows where Hoffa is. OJ says a lot.
I don't think he said he knew that, but he knew where his trophies were and everything else. That's why he's in jail now. So he showed his...
Well, after digging up half of southern Michigan, they still haven't found Jimmy Hoffa.
Well, that's because he's at the Meadowlands. He's underneath there.
They've already x-rayed the
One of the
concrete.
bridges in New York.
Well, he's at the Meadowlands, folks. That's where they're planning him.
Disclaimer for the...
The disclaimer, this is all our own opinions. And some of them, if they offend you, you can always call in, 412-831-3304.
And the person you want to sue is Alavine.
Wrong. They do not represent me. I represent myself. I can create enough controversy, sarcasm, and just general mayhem if you need that. But I prefer not to. So today we'll just keep it like that. And I'm glad we live in America where we can all talk like this, and I'm thankful to Bethel Park. Everybody watching out. Chief, we missed you last night. Hope you didn't choke on your dessert here with Little Z and Smoking Jim and everybody. So we'll see you next week. All right, now we usually cover boxing because Steelers, we went out of control there, but that's okay. Little Z, the audition, another minus. Okay. All right. Boxing. We heard rumors that we may get that August 3rd fight will be sometime in September. So see us in September with possibly the champion Rod Salka. We'll wait for the phone call. Oh, by the way.
You might be waiting for that phone call for a while, depending on how my audition
Whoa,
is.
the storm blew out the phone. I mean, it really did. Annie M, there was a tornado here. All right, next
Eddie
week.
Chambers was trying to call.
Again.
Eddie Chambers will be fighting August 3rd up in Connecticut. We'll see what happens with that, man.
And we'll get a call in after that fight, I'm sure. Another
As
friend
long
of
as
our
I'm
show.
sitting in this seat, right, Smoking Jim?
That's right.
Man, there's another positive. Okay. I don't know the negative. Here, let me weigh that out, guys. This audition is not going well. It's like a roller coaster.
I don't think the folks at home believe that one bit.
Well, you wanted a little controversy, Little Z, and you're trying to sue. Not me. So, we'll see. Okay, that's our boxing segment.
Well, that's it.
Well, I don't know. You guys are always supposed to give me the extra
Well,
stuff.
on July 24th, we got that fight down at the Royal.
You're the
My
setup
next
man.
stop-
I was just at
my
the...
next stop after I leave here, I'll be at 51 Boxing. So that's
And
probably
that's
gonna be my
Big
new
Ted
gym.
and Teddy Jr., the real Teddy Jr. I saw them the other day on Sunday. I stopped by the gym because the garage door was open, guys. It's a great gym. And Big Ted was showing me all the... You should see the weights that they have in the back room.
Yeah.
He told me a story. So whoever that nice person was that dropped off about 2 tons of weights, he said somebody dropped it off there. It's just great because to buy all that stuff would cost a fortune, especially today. And he
Well,
has
they got a big
treadmills. They have a tire out back.
I'm the one that can flip it the most.
Wow.
How many times?
10.
10
Wow,
times.
that's
And I wasn't trying to really like burn myself out because
Well,
I still got to.
you still got to sit too,
come to
and
this show.
you need the seat. So
Yeah.
go ahead, do 11
need
next
this
week.
seat.
When you go down there tonight, try 11. We'll see if you can make it on Monday. That streak might be busted, but it's a great place. They're going to be at the Royal Place on what is that?
July 24th.
the 24th, and I don't
It
know if
starts
there's.
at 3 p.m.
That's what I heard.
So it's on a Sunday, so that's adequate time for everybody to be able to get out there, Smoking Jim included. Al Levine. I'll escort you guys if you
What's
need
the
it.
21st, right?
No, the 24th. I believe.
24th.
Yeah, Sunday's the
Sunday.
21st.
Yes, it is.
So it's the 21st.
Okay, thanks, Smoking Jim, because we had a couple questions on dates and times as it was. The 28th, that's why he knows. The 28th was Saturday, but now it's Sunday.
I know my sevens tables.
Do you? You know what, folks? If you go to Cal U,
That's what you get for studying all them generals out of Cal U.
General studies pays off, kids. See, you have to go to college and pay attention.
study your
General
generals.
studies will help.
Gotta study
unless
your
you're a
generals.
great
You can be
athlete
on TV. You can write in newspapers.
and
You
write
can
a
hold up
book.
newspapers
Hold
with
it.
Terrell Pryor in them.
Hold it. He's written more books with the NFL than he's ever read in his life. Because I keep tempting him with books.
All these books.
Yeah. Little Z, you're going to have to start writing
I'm
here.
gonna have to start
That's
reading.
another, yeah, I'll get you a book. Another negative on the audition. No book reading.
I must warn you, man. There's a lot of fans of mine in the city, man. There's a lot of fans of mine.
What neighborhoods are they from?
All over, man. We got friends in Bethel Park, too.
Upper St. Homestead.
If it's Upper St. I want to get invited to the pool, and that might help your audition here.
Well, we're auditioning a lifeguard for Jim's sake.
I'm thinking Brandy from Sip Sports Bar is going to get a tryout.
Well, isn't it true when you're in the water, you're like buoyant there, so somebody could actually pull you no matter how heavy you are, unless you sink like a rock.
No, that's
like
the way he
Chip said.
swims.
Jim has
That's
been
the way he
thrown-
swims.
Smokey Jim
Right
has
to the
been
bottom.
thrown in the water and with H blocks wrapped around his ankles quite a few times for some of the bets he's made.
Well, I don't know. We'll
He
cover.
seems to float back to the surface, so I might not need a lifeguard, but I'm supposed to be hooking up with Mr. Michael Anthony, so maybe I can get some of those girls to audition for Smokey
that'd be
Jim's
nice.
lifeguard
That'd be
position.
Well, he is a great scout of models.
He is.
Definitely.
Better than Jim?
Well, he has the calendars to prove it. Smoking Jim doesn't have. Well, he has a few calendars, but they're not his girls.
I'll tell you what. Every time I see Smoking Jim, he's got something on his arm.
Yeah. And
That's
Frank.
better than a picture on a wall. You know
When
what I
it's
mean?
Brazil, it's kind of hard, like, to get your hand all the way around it. Like, I feel.
How do you know? How do you know? That's a mystery that may never be solved.
Why do you think Jim's
guys-
always laughing?
I always try to give her a hug, but I mean it's awkward. Like I reach out.
Let me interrupt you. She was in the chair, so you put Mini Me Z down, and then she ran. And then all of a sudden, Batman appeared, and he made disappear
The
shortly.
Caped Crusader.
Yeah, we're down to about the last 9 minutes. I don't know if you guys want to talk about 5 All-Stars by the Pirates, which I think that's quite an accomplishment. I thought they should have had a couple more players
Really?
on the team. I actually thought they
20
should have.
straight losing seasons, and respect is earned.
Well,
Well,
have
no,
to earn
they're
it.
getting their respect because the guys that got
They got
voted
to play
onto
on
the
Fox.
team. Well, the guys that got voted onto the team were voted on by the managers. They weren't voted in by popular demand. The starters are voted in.
Of course, the
but the
public-
rest of them are picked by their peers.
Yeah, the nation
So
didn't vote for the Pirates.
that's a sign of respect that the people in baseball are recognizing. The Pirates are putting together a good
see,
team.
I'm his setup,
But you
man.
know what'll help? Continue to play like this. Continue to run the organization like this, and make the playoffs and
But
finish
you know,
strong.
if you listen to
and you'll
everything that they say,
legitimize
they
it.
have not accomplished anything yet. Okay, they're not sitting on their laurels. They know that they've got a lot of work to do, and they haven't accomplished anything yet. So they're in the middle
They
of a
only got
journey.
56 wins.
They're not
That's all
popping
they
the
have.
corks
You don't
on the
think they're going to
champagne
make
yet.
any moves then?
It remains to be seen. It depends on
I
what's
think
out
they'll
there.
make a move
I
or
think they
two.
probably will make a move trying to get a bat in the lineup. I've also heard that they're on a short list of people that are vying for Matt Garza, pitcher for the Chicago Cubs.
Starting
29
pitcher.
years old. He's a starting pitcher, and he's the Pirates are one of 6 teams that are in
Let me
negotiations.
also ask you this to this extent, though. The Penguins went out and did some things like that and ended up hurting them when
Yes.
they were clicking and doing so good. Do you think they should just stay pat and ride this out and see
Well,
what happens?
it all depends on how much it makes sense for the team now and what kind of price they're going to pay for the future. And I think where the Penguins made a mistake this past year, Ray Shero went all in. Okay, he went into I want to win now, and
Well,
he got 3 big names in free agency. Gave up a ton of prospects. Not one of those players is on the team right
Hockey
now.
draft
We
picks.
had him for 6 weeks. And we didn't win us a championship. Now we got nothing to show for it. And now our minor league system is depleted because of it. So I don't think that they're really better off because of that.
There's a lot of rounds in the baseball draft, and there's a lot of rounds in the hockey draft, and it makes them 2 of the most irrelevant drafts because guys that may never play ever in the life get drafted. Like a quarterback from Florida just got drafted in like the 29th round by the Boston Red Sox, and he
But
may
that's
never,
how baseball has been that way forever. When they started the draft,
So, but I'm just talking about when you give away picks and you're a good team, you don't have to worry about it. When the Pirates give away picks, that's like giving away like first round picks if they trade anybody.
but
you
again,
know
a
what,
lot
in
of first
20
round
years.
picks don't make
But
it.
you know what? The next
in
couple of
baseball.
weeks will be interesting to see
For us.
what pans
For
out with
anybody.
with
Study the
the
facts.
draft
Read a book.
with the draft deadline coming up. I think the Pirates could still win if they don't make any moves, and depends on who's out there and what they got to give up to them. If it makes sense, I could see them making a move, but it all depends on what's being offered and and what their needs are. But thinking back, the last time Pirates had 5 in the All-Star game, 1972. Remember the year very well. That was Roberto Clemente's last season. That was the year he got his 3,000th hit.
Right.
We lost in the playoffs that year in a 5-game series to the Cincinnati Reds. We lost in 5 games, but that year
should have won.
Al Oliver, Roberto Clemente, Willie Stargell, Manny Sanguillen, and Steve Blass all went to the All-Star game, and those are all very familiar names in Pirate history. Steve Blass and Manny Sanguillen teamed up as a combination to win the 7th game of the World Series in 1971. Roberto Clemente was the World Series MVP that year before. So, not saying that these 5 guys that have made it to the All-Star team are the caliber of those, because there's 2 legitimate Hall of Famers there, Stargell and Clemente. But you know what? Pirates have got a nice stable of players. And to be honest with you got the 5 guys that made the All-Star team. I actually think that the Pirates' MVP at the midseason is Russell Martin, the catcher. I think he has made the biggest impact on that team.
More so than Alvarez?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Alvarez, everybody knew that Alvarez is a power hitter. It was a matter of him finding his way. You knew that he was going to do that. Russell Martin has calmed down the pitching staff. He manages the staff well. Nobody runs on Russell Martin. Last year, our duo of catchers, people were running. They were stealing 6 and 7 bases a game, and it was just get somebody on base, and you could run crazy, and there was nothing you could do about it. Russell Martin's out there, and he keeps. That's why we're in a lot of games. We win these run games because.
He makes a difference.
He makes a big difference. As a matter of fact, Saturday night at the game, Pirates were losing 2-1. It was going into the 6th inning, and A.J. Burnett was losing his stuff, and they had runners at 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. And whoever was up at bat for the Mets hit a chopper down to 3rd baseline. Pedro Alvarez charged it, and instead of going to first, threw to home, and bang, play,
Nice
and they
play.
tagged the guy out at the plate, and that was the play that changed the momentum in the game, and the reason why the Pirates ultimately ended up winning that game 4-2. So, Alvarez, he's made a big difference. Russell Martin, definitely, I think, is the Pirates MVP first half of the season.
If you're giving them out in the first half, there's a few there. Locke is another one.
Really?
Look at Locke with what he's done.
But-
That'd be one of my picks. Russell Martin, he did steady it. That was one of the best things that the Pirates, best guys they brought in. But again, he come here only because of the money. But it shows what an athlete he is. He's performed.
Just another useless bit of information. I'll make this quick because I know we're coming up on the
we're
end of the
getting
show. When the Pirates traded Nate McLouth a few years ago, he's one of the most popular players on the team. They traded him to the Braves. 2 of the 3 players they traded him for. One was Gorkys Hernandez. One was Jeff Locke. The other one was Charlie Morton. 2 of the 5 starters on our staff right now we got for getting rid of Nate McLouth. And has anybody heard of Nate McLouth since?
Yes,
Man,
he's actually
full of
doing
so
pretty
much
well right
baseball
now.
knowledge, folks. It's unbelievable.
Hold it, in Baltimore, Nate McLouth is having a resurgence.
No, you
All
know
right.
what? So
Right.
is the Pirates.
Well,
the pitchers that we got
I'm
for
a
him
Pirate fan.
and
Wait a
2/5
second.
or
Just
2/5
because I've
of our
been
starting
disgruntled,
staff.
hey, I've been disgruntled. Just like I'm a Steeler fan with 11-5, I favor them more because of what they've done. The Pirates, like Little Z keeps saying, 20 years. Yeah, we're getting close on the time. We got the 2-minute warning here, and we'll have to end it. Anybody got any special things they want to say? About 20 seconds?
Yeah,
I think
30.
some of us will be together on Thursday night. If Al wouldn't have reminded me, I probably would have forgot about it. So
That's what I wanted
thank
to get
you for
in.
reminding me. He's on top of the ball. I want to wish Miss Danielle recovering from an ankle injury in a kickball game on Sunday, a well recovery. Wait till Smoke and Jim gets to check out this blonde one night at Sips.
Well, she'll have to come on the show. Smoke and Jim.
Well, one thing about Pedro Alvarez is center fielder never says, I got it. He'll say, I'll go get it. But he don't deserve to make the All-Star game this year. With 5 Pirates making the All-Star game, I'm putting my money on the American League.
Well, there you go, folks. The game is tonight. I wasn't confused, but we got another one in on it. Chip, make it
Just
quick.
a quick wrap on Joe DiMaggio. His 56 games straight. He had 223 at-bats, 56 runs, 91 hits, 16 doubles, 4 triples, 15 home runs, and 55 RBIs.
And that must have been Joe's warning that we're getting done.
You never stop.
And we also, if you want to see some of us Little Z, myself, Smoking Jim, and Alicia Rector will be at Entrepreneurial Thursday. That's at 5:30 at Little E's, 949 Liberty Avenue. Stop out there.